Country music began in the Appalachian Mountains, moved south, and became a global phenomenon. Although many people associate country music with Nashville, it actually began right up the road in Bristol, Tennessee. According to American Library, country music began in East Tennessee and Virginia. The front porch tunes began to develop into a genre of its own. People would take hymns from church, folk chords, and blues tunes, mix them all together, and write ballads about love, family, and life in the mountains. While country music is noted as an American tune, a lot of the components were brought to America from other countries. For example, the fiddle was brought over from Britain in the 1700s, where it was born into the string family and an orchestra. The banjo was used in South Africa in tribal rituals and celebrations, migrated to Haiti, and eventually found itself in the Appalachian Mountains. There are some people that you can't not mention when talking about country music. First, Jimmie Rodgers, keyed as the man who started it all by the Country Music Hall of Fame. He's the first documented man to perform as a country music singer. Rodgers mixed his knowledge of folk, jazz, yodeling, and tunes he picked up working on the railroads. He also mixed in the culture of the African Americans that he had grown to love through church. After being diagnosed with tuberculosis in 1924, he devoted his full attention to his music. In 1931, he began touring the country and rose to the top very quickly. In 1932, his sickness resurfaced and died within 2 days. In 1961, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Next, Johnny Cash, being born in the midst of the Great Depression, outside of working on his family's sharecropping farm, he used any recreational time he had on his music. In 1955, he emerged onto the country music scene, releasing hits like Ring of Fire and Folsom Prison Blues. As he became more influential, he began releasing music with more political seasonings. His song Bitter Tears speaks the truth of the mistreatment of Native Americans. This topic specifically was controversial amongst Americans in the 1960s. In the late 60s and early 70s, Cash focused on his traveling Johnny Cash show, going to places like the White House, Carnegie Hall, and even Northern Ireland. Johnny Cash's music continues to cycle through radio, movies, and television shows. Finally, George Strait, who is known as the King of Country by The New Yorker. He made his debut in 1981 after signing a contract with MCA Records. Right off the bat, he began releasing a series of chart-topping songs, including Check Yes or No and Carrying My Love With You. In the 90s, he took a break from music and had an acting career in the pure country film. In the early 2000s, he picked back up with his music, releasing more number one songs. Over his career, he had over 40 number one songs reach the Billboard country charts. To this day, he releases incredible music and tours worldwide. Like many things in life, women had a late start on the country music scene. Patsy Cline was the first woman in country music. The Rolling Stone magazine describes her career that began in 1948. In 1949, she performed in the Grand Ole Opry at the age of 16. She is still one of the youngest artists to perform on the country music stage. While still taking the country music world by storm, she was tragically killed in a plane crash in 1961. Another woman that PBS reports as a woman that pioneered country music is Loretta Lynn. She was mentored by Patsy Cline and surpassed her late idol when marked having 79 charting songs. At the Country Music Awards, she received the title of Female Artist of the Year and was the first woman to ever win the CMA Entertainer of the Year. Her most iconic songs include Coal Miner's Daughter and You're Looking at Country. Finally, Dolly Parton, born in East Tennessee, overcame poverty, depression, and made a career in one of the most sexist industries. Not only is she a country music star, but is known worldwide as one of the most iconic musicians of all time. She has been established with every award any musician could ever want, including 9 Grammys, 3 American Music Awards, and 10 Country Music Awards. Her song, I Will Always Love You, has reached number 1 over 3 different decades. She now co-owns a theme park, writes and produces music and books, and is a very generous philanthropist. All of these women have contributed so much to the history and evolution of country music. After having gone through almost a century of changes and mutations, country music is now a genre known around the world. Thank you.